views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hey, this is Jenn from Radically Distinct Radio, and I have a new text club that will send you updates when new shows go live. All you got to do is take out your phone. That's right, take out your phone, open up a text message, and this is the number you're going to text. It's 31996, and in the message, you're going to put RAD, R-A-D. Then I'm going to send you a link to the RAD chart, and then you're going to get regularly occurring messages once a week when new shows go live.
Hello and welcome to Radically Distinct Radio. I'm your host, Jenn Morgan. Last week, I was on the Dr. Pat Show talking about positioning from a business perspective. And this week, I wanted to talk to you about it from a personal perspective. We're still in the self-worth series, but I really wanted to bring home a perspective on positioning that I didn't quite get to in the Dr. Pat Show, and I want you to get it from a personal perspective. And that's how it improves your ability to inspire people to take action on your behalf, and why it's used by advertisers and politicians to influence public opinion and behavior. I'm going to tell you a story. 10. Oh my gosh. I'm a high school senior. I'm the captain of my dance team. And 9. I'm really hoping that we made it into the top 10 of this competition routine, because that was my goal. You know, our team had never placed in anything before. 8. And I am standing here with the best routine that I have ever performed with a group of people who did an amazing job. And I never thought that we were going to be able to get here, because we had 4 amazing freshmen on our team this year who were able to do these like crazy pirouettes, switch leaps. 7. They were able to do all these switch leaps and all these fancy blingy things. And I wanted to put them in the front of the routine because I felt like that was going to be a really big splash. But it traditionally, when you have a competition routine, what you have to do is you have to build it around the seniors, because the seniors, it's their last year and there's all this stuff, and that's just the way it's always been. So as a person trying to create a competition routine, I was limited by who I had there. Now, they were good, don't get me wrong, but we had these like other assets that I wanted to be able to use somehow. 6. And I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to get that past the seniors. You know, how was I going to get the freshmen up front? And so I came up with this positioning strategy. I didn't call it that, but this is what I came up with. That instead of me creating this routine as a captain, I was going to say to them, hey, why don't you give me your best 8 counts, your best 4 8 counts, every single one, if you bring it in, and then we'll make a routine out of what everybody else wants to do. 5. And so everybody did. And then I had the freshmen do like the stuff that I thought, you know, I had them create what I called the freshman special. And everybody went and they created this routine, and it all came together kind of organically. We naturally saw the things we liked, and then we wanted the person who created that routine to be up front. And saw the freshmen do these triple pirouettes and switch leaps, and we're all like, that would be a great opening. It was like a unanimous decision. All I needed to do was weave in some transition points. 5. And it was a great routine. We came out onto the court. This is Detroit, in the same place where the Pistons play. And we came out onto the court and we did these triple pirouettes. Well, we didn't. The freshmen did triple pirouettes, and then these switch leaps. And then the whole rest of the team did a full, everybody did what is this called? It's when you jump and you're a toe touch. Yes, a toe touch. And then we landed face down. 4. And it was a great routine. 3. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, okay, this dramatic countdown's not working for me. We got second. Okay, we got second, but we were so excited that we placed because we had never placed before that we freaked out. Like we were so enthusiastic that people, or that the what are they called? The photographers, they just took a picture of us instead of the first place team because they thought we won. So on the front page of the Detroit Free Press, the second place team, which was my team, I'm standing on the front of the newspaper with my team. And what I learned was you don't have to be the best to steal the show. But you do need to have a positioning strategy, okay? So if you're trying to get a group of people to try to do something, or you want to get people to see the value of your idea or the value of working with your company, before you start writing up taglines and creating promotional materials, before you start deciding what clothes to wear, you need to think about your positioning strategy. Now, a positioning strategy is a frame of reference for how you want other people to perceive you. Now, I say frame of reference, and frame is something you probably have heard maybe when someone's been framed, when we're talking about like mystery stories, or a frame, like a picture frame, or we're talking about a frame in PR, like in the story that they're trying to tell. That's a frame. Like we're trying to frame the information that we're looking at. If you can define what that frame is, then you can have a conversation about what the story should be. But see, what ends up happening a lot of times is that we're all trying to tell the details that are going on in the story without defining the frame. So feedback that you get from other people is always going to be distorted unless we're looking through the same frame. A positioning strategy is a driving force behind all advertising campaigns and political races. And what makes it effective is two things. One, the clarity of it, because the more clear something is, the more specific actions you can take, and the truthfulness of it. Because, and this is really one of the biggest reasons why I think that we as individual people aren't as good as advertisers and politicians at being able to frame our story, right? I think that the biggest reason that we as meaning a general citizen versus a sophisticated company, corporate entity that has a lot of money to spend on advertising, the biggest difference is one premise or belief, and that is that humans make decisions emotionally, and then we rationalize them with our minds. Now, advertisers and politicians, they accept that reality as true. And we as individuals, we like to believe that we make decisions logically. Like we really thought them through. We made checklists. We double checked them. We don't make decisions emotionally because emotions are girly. And we don't want anyone to think that we're girly or weak and that we actually listen to our emotions. We think that life would be better without emotions, so we're just going to talk to you through our heads, okay? But that's actually not true. Humans make decisions emotionally and then rationalize them with our minds. Okay, so for example, during World War II, the government needed more men to enlist in the army, and they needed to inspire them to enlist in the army, right? And so what they did to do that was they came up with an advertising campaign where they showed one man who's holding his chest up high because he has just enlisted in the army, and he's got another man he's like, his back is slunched over and he's looking like he's ashamed of himself. And he's looking like he's ashamed of himself because we assume he didn't enlist. So he's not worthy of like thinking highly of himself. And the takeaway is if you want to be a man, you enlist in the army. If you want to live a shameful life, then you don't. Then when we needed to have women go into the factories in order to help with the war effort, what we did was we created advertising that showed, these letters that we would be sending to somebody far, far away. And then it would say, help your husband get a job in the war, right? It was like, or not get a job in the factory so that you can help the men over there. So we it taps into our emotional need to bring him home soon. And then we get out of bed and we do something. We go and we get a job in the factory. And then when the men come home and we need to get the women out of a job, what we do is we show advertising of women who are sexy and happy because they live in the suburbs and they know how to operate a washing machine. All of that communication that comes from the government, that comes from advertising, all stems from a positioning strategy. Now, you can learn how to create a positioning strategy for yourself and for your ideas and for your companies and your businesses. And you can also use one, so you can learn how to do it. You can also use it to grow your own, agenda, to grow your own business, all of those other things. And it can also be used against you. And what I mean by used against you, I don't mean any sort of conspiracy theory. That's not what I mean. But it just means that other people can frame their story better than you framed your story, right? Or they could take advantage of a situation where there's already a little hint of a rumor or something, and they can make that story go further by adding a positioning strategy. So why am I telling you all these things? I'm telling you these things because knowing how to frame up your ideas is going to help you be more effective to influence people. Also, knowing how ideas are framed up is going to make you a better purchaser from other companies. It's going to make you more selective in how you decide on whether or not they're just giving you a story or if they're actually giving you information that backs up what they say. So the reason that campaigns are so successful at shaping our behavior with their positioning strategies is because they're not logical, politically correct messages. They're emotional messages that tap into what is the truth, which is that we have fears, we have emotions, we have desires, and those are the things that motivate us to take actions. And so a positioning strategy gives you the space for those emotions to exist. We don't try to say we don't have emotions, we don't believe in emotions. What we do is we include them in the way we look at the world. And we shape them in a way that is going to move our objective forward. So, positioning strategy is used to shape perception. It's used by advertisers and politicians to shape public opinion because it works. And it can be used by you to influence others to champion you and your ideas. And it can be used against you if you aren't aware it's happening. It's a tool to help you shape perception. So once you know how to do it, you could do it regularly to manage how other people perceive you and your brand. This is Jenn Morgan, empowering you to be radically distinct. If you liked this show, please rate and review it on iTunes so that I can know that you're listening. And if you're not already, please follow us on Instagram at Radically Distinct, Facebook at Radically Distinct, and I'm on Twitter at Jenn Morgan Brand. And if you're not already on my text club, please sign up. That's the number 31996 RAD. And until next time, my name is Jenn Morgan, empowering you to be radically distinct.